Before we talk about money, let me remind you this. Your financial life is simply the reflection of your inner world. If your thinking is poor, your pockets will be empty. If your mindset is narrow, your possibilities will be limited. Now consider this. Most people chase money like a shadow, never realizing that their thoughts are the real currency. Poor thinking is the silent thief that steals your potential long before the bills come due. It traps you in a cycle where scarcity breeds scarcity, and limits become self-fulfilling prophecies. But here's the secret, the millionaire's secret. Lasting wealth starts with a transformation inside. It begins the moment you refuse to be a prisoner of your own mind. When you master your thinking, you command your future. You change the story that your money tells about you. So today, I invite you to question the thoughts you've been carrying, to challenge the beliefs that have kept you broke, because until your mind changes, your money won't. And that, my friends, is where the journey to lasting wealth truly begins. You know, one of the biggest killers of financial progress is confusion. When I first began my journey, I quickly learned that without clarity, you wander aimlessly. It's like trying to drive across the country without a map or a destination. You might move, but you won't arrive where you want. Confusion kills action, and when it comes to money, it kills your chance to grow wealth. If you don't know what's coming in, what's going out, or where your money is quietly leaking away, you're stuck. And stuck people don't get wealthy. They survive, at best, but they don't thrive. Many folks tell me, I just don't understand where all my money goes. I get it. It's a common story. Paychecks come, bills go out, before you know it, the account is empty. But it doesn't have to be that way. You see, wealth starts with awareness. The moment you start tracking your financial activity, everything changes. There's power in measurement. It's what separates those who remain broke from those who build lasting wealth. If you want to grow your financial future, you must first face your present reality. When I was young, I used to live paycheck to paycheck. I wasn't sure what portion of my income was spent on essentials or wasted on frivolities. That lack of clarity left me frustrated and powerless. Then one day, I decided to take control. I started with the simplest tool, a notebook. Each week, I would write down every cent I earned, every bill I paid, every dollar I spent. I tracked my savings and even noted my net worth. It wasn't complicated or fancy, but it was consistent. And that consistency created clarity. What I discovered was surprising. Small leaks here and there were draining my potential. A few coffees, a magazine subscription, a couple of impulsive buys, nothing huge, but all adding up. The shock was enough to change my habits. I realized if I could plug those leaks even just a little, that money could be redirected into investments or savings, creating momentum toward financial freedom. This simple practice, a weekly money dashboard, is a game changer. When you see the numbers in black and white, you no longer guess or ignore. You make decisions with confidence, and confidence creates action. Over time, as you track your income, expenses, and savings rate, you gain control over your finances. Your net worth becomes a living, breathing scorecard of your progress. You're not hoping for wealth, you're building it piece by piece. Many wealthy individuals didn't become rich by luck or by guessing. They became rich because they disciplined themselves to understand their money. They asked tough questions. Where's my money going? Am I saving enough? How can I grow what I have? The answers come when you measure, and measurement demands honesty. Let me share a story. A friend of mine was struggling financially, though he earned a decent salary. When he began tracking everything, he found he was spending nearly 30% of his income on things that didn't bring value late fees, eating out, unused subscriptions. He felt embarrassed, but more importantly, empowered. By cutting those costs and reallocating that money, he was able to build a small emergency fund within months. That fund became the foundation for investment opportunities later. This transformation was only possible because he gained clarity. Financial clarity is the foundation of all wealth. Without it, you're building on sand. With it, you create a solid platform to make smart choices, seize opportunities, and execute your plan. You don't have to be a financial expert. You just need a commitment to knowing your numbers and managing them weekly. That's where the real power lies. So here's the truth. Poor thinking about money begins with confusion, but wealth thinking starts with clarity. Take the time to create your own weekly dashboard. Write down what you earn, what you spend, what you save, and where your net worth stands. Watch how this simple habit changes your mindset and your results. Because what gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed grows. Now, take control today. Start tracking. Don't wait. Your future self will thank you. Too many people fall into the trap of trading time for money, thinking that working harder or longer hours will somehow make them wealthy. But here's a truth that changes everything. A job, no matter how steady or secure, is a paycheck, not a path to wealth. That's survival income, not wealth income. If you want lasting financial freedom, you must stop believing that simply showing up and punching a clock will get you there. This kind of thinking keeps people stuck in a cycle, trading every minute for a fixed amount of money, with no leverage and no growth. I remember early in my life, I believed the same thing. I thought, if I just work hard enough, I'll eventually get ahead. But hard work alone wasn't enough. It paid the bills, yes, but it didn't build the wealth I wanted. The moment I understood that true financial growth comes from increasing my value, my ability to solve problems, lead people, and create opportunities, everything shifted. Value is the currency of wealth. The more value you can offer, the more money will follow. This shift requires you to build skills that raise your marketplace value. Think about its skills like sales, leadership, investing, communication, and negotiation are assets that never depreciate. They make you more indispensable and open doors beyond a fixed salary. These are skills that create leverage because once mastered, they allow you to generate income from multiple sources, not just one paycheck. But it's not enough to just learn these skills, you must monetize them. That means finding ways to turn your increased value into income streams beyond your regular job. Maybe it's starting a side business, consulting, freelancing, or investing wisely. I know a man who spent years mastering sales and communication. He began offering coaching on the side, and that side income soon surpassed his day job. Later, he built a business based on those skills that gave him financial freedom he never dreamed possible when he was solely an employee. Building value is about investing in yourself consistently. Spend time daily or weekly growing your expertise. Read books, attend seminars, practice new skills. This continuous growth is your best insurance against financial stagnation. The market rewards those who adapt, learn, and innovate, not those who wait for raises or promotions. One of the richest lessons I ever learned was that wealth is created by expanding your ability to serve and provide value to others. Money follows value, not effort alone. This means that while your time is finite, your value can multiply infinitely. When you build value, you create income that isn't tied to hours worked. You build freedom, choice, and control. So, if you want to break free from the poverty mindset, stop trading your time for money. Invest in your skills, increase your value, and then find ways to let that value generate income on your terms. This is how the wealthy think. This is how lasting wealth is built. And it all starts with the decision to grow yourself beyond your job. Make that decision today, build value, build wealth, and watch how your financial future transforms. Fear and doubt are silent killers of progress. They creep into your mind quietly, whispering doubts that stop you from moving forward. You wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect set of circumstances. But here's the hard truth. Perfection is just procrastination dressed up in fancy clothes. Waiting for everything to be perfect means you never start. You stall, hesitate, and in the end, your dreams stay just that, dreams. Poor thinking tells you to wait, to hesitate, to doubt yourself. But the rich know that action, even imperfect action, is the only path to progress. I've seen this countless times in my own life. and the lives of others. When I was young, I hesitated on many decisions because I feared making the wrong choice. But as I began to act despite fear, I realized that action itself dispels doubt. Each step forward builds confidence and creates momentum. The people who become wealthy don't wait until they feel ready. They become ready by taking action. Fear only loses its power when you move beyond it. That's why I advocate the 72-hour action rule. This simple principle can change your financial future. Whenever you face a financial decision or opportunity, commit to taking one bold step within 72 hours. Whether it's launching a side hustle, opening an investment account, or hiring a mentor to guide you, don't let the days slip by without progress. This rule forces you to move beyond analysis paralysis and into real growth. Consider this. An investor friend of mine once hesitated for months to put money into the market because he wanted to be sure it was the perfect time. Eventually, he started with a small amount. Within 3 days of deciding to act, that small step led to bigger investments and greater financial confidence. Action created clarity, and clarity bred more action. Waiting for perfection also wastes valuable time. The market rewards time in the game, not timing the game. The sooner you act, the more opportunity you have to grow wealth. Fear and doubt are temporary, but the cost of inaction is long-lasting. Every day you wait is a lost chance to build your future. You don't need to have all the answers before you start. Progress comes through doing, learning, adjusting, and growing. Wealth isn't built in a day or from perfect conditions. It's built through consistent, courageous action. So today, commit to the 72-hour rule. Identify one financial step you've been avoiding. It doesn't have to be grand. It just needs to be bold enough to push you forward. Then take that step within 3 days. Do it again and again. You'll find fear loses its grip, doubt fades away, and your financial life starts moving in the direction you want. Remember, fear and doubt may be your enemies, but action is your ally. Choose action and watch how it transforms your life and your wealth. Far too many people find themselves trapped in the cycle of living month to month, caught in the grip of survival mode. They focus solely on getting through the next bill, the next paycheck, the next expense, without ever lifting their eyes to a horizon beyond today or tomorrow. This kind of thinking, this narrow vision, is what keeps people stuck, always struggling, always just getting by, never moving toward lasting wealth. When your mindset is limited to immediate needs, you build a life built on scarcity, fear, and uncertainty. This is poor thinking, and it guarantees a financial struggle that lasts a lifetime. I remember when I first understood this myself. Early on, I was so consumed by immediate concerns, rent, food, utilities, that the idea of building a legacy seemed distant, even impossible. But then I learned that wealth is not about the money you earn today or the comfort you enjoy this month. It's about creating something that endures beyond your lifetime. Wealth is a seed you plant for future generations, not just a meal for the present moment. This is why thinking legacy to legacy changes everything. It shifts your perspective from survival to significance, from mere existence to intentional creation. It means you no longer ask, how will I make it through this month? But instead, what will I build that lasts beyond me? This is the mindset of the truly wealthy, who don't just seek financial freedom for themselves, but strive to create a foundation for their children and grandchildren. Building a legacy fund is a practical way to begin this shift. This means setting aside a specific portion of your income, no matter how small, dedicated to long-term investing or assets that appreciate over time: real estate, stocks, businesses, or other vehicles that can be passed down. More than that, it's about cultivating habits that transcend a single lifetime: discipline, strategic planning, and generosity. I've seen families transformed when they start thinking in terms of legacy. One man I knew began dedicating just 10% of his income toward investments for his children's future. Decades later, those investments provided his family with opportunities and security that he could never have imagined during his own struggles. It wasn't about the size of the initial contribution. It was about the commitment to a vision beyond himself. Legacy thinking also demands you teach the next generation about money, how to manage it wisely, how to invest thoughtfully, and how to use wealth as a tool for good. The richest inheritance isn't just dollars. It's the mindset, the values, and the discipline you pass on. So, to break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, you must start thinking bigger. Shift your focus from the next month's survival to the next generation's prosperity. Build your legacy fund, build your family's future, and live with a vision that stretches beyond your own lifetime. This is where true wealth begins. There's a common misconception that wealth comes from luck, winning the lottery, inheriting a fortune, or catching some unexpected break. Many people sit around hoping for a windfall, believing that's how they'll get rich. But I want you to understand something deeply. Wealth is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. It's not about luck, it's about philosophy. The difference between the wealthy and the rest isn't luck, it's their philosophy of life and money. Early in my own journey, I realized that waiting for luck was waiting for nothing. I wasn't handed anything. I didn't stumble on riches. What changed my life was adopting a philosophy that disciplined my mind, sharpened my skills, and directed my actions toward growth. The truth is, long-term wealth is a result of long-term principles, consistent daily decisions aligned with a clear vision and strong values. This philosophy starts with discipline. Discipline to save when you'd rather spend, to invest when others hesitate, and to keep learning when the distractions tempt you to stop. I remember when I was broke and had more debts than dollars in my pocket. What pulled me out was my commitment to learn reading books, attending seminars, and surrounding myself with mentors who modeled success. It wasn't easy, but discipline created momentum. Wealth grows from discipline, not from a stroke of luck. Next is learning. Financial literacy, personal growth, and skill development aren't optional if you want lasting wealth. It's a process of continuous education, adapting to changes, and mastering the tools of money and business. One person who embraced this understood that the more he learned, the less he feared, and the more he was able to seize opportunities. Knowledge isn't just power, it's the foundation of wealth. Action is the next pillar. Many people know what to do, but never do it. They procrastinate or wait for the perfect moment. But the wealthy act consistently and strategically. Every great fortune is built on the actions taken day after day, even when the results seem slow. I learned that small, disciplined actions compound into unstoppable progress. Finally, personal growth completes the cycle. Your financial success mirrors your personal development. As you grow in character, mindset, and habits, your financial outcomes grow. Wealth is an inside job, cultivated by the philosophy you live by. So remember this, you don't get rich by hoping or relying on luck. You get rich by building a philosophy of discipline, learning, action, and growth. This is the real secret to lasting wealth. There's a powerful truth that many overlook. Trying to figure out the path to wealth all by yourself is the slowest, most expensive way to get there. When I started on my own journey, I believed I had to do everything myself, read every book, attend every seminar, stumble through every mistake. It was a tough road, and it cost me time, money, and frustration. But then I discovered something that changed everything, the power of mentorship. You see, poor thinking often makes people believe that asking for help is a sign of weakness or that they can learn everything on their own. That mindset wastes precious years. But those who build lasting wealth understand that learning from someone who's already walked the path is a shortcut to success. Mentorship isn't just about advice. It's about guidance, accountability, and the transfer of wisdom that can save you from costly errors. I remember meeting my first mentor, a man who had already achieved financial freedom and was willing to share his knowledge. His insights opened my eyes to principles I hadn't considered and strategies I wouldn't have found on my own. He showed me how to think differently about money, invest wisely, and manage my time. That relationship accelerated my progress and changed my life. Books, courses, coaches, these are all forms of mentorship. Smart people recognize that investing in their education is not an expense, but a high-return investment. It's like planting seeds in fertile soil. The more you learn from experienced sources, the faster your growth. Trying to reinvent the wheel wastes resources and delays your financial freedom. So if you want to break poor thinking and build lasting wealth, seek out mentorship. Find those who inspire you, who challenge your thinking, and who have achieved what you want to achieve. Be willing to invest time, energy, and money into learning from their experience. This is how you multiply your efforts, shorten your journey, and avoid the pitfalls that trap so many. Remember, the wealthy don't stumble blindly, they learn from those who have already made the climb. This is the millionaire secret that turns dreams into reality. Before anyone can build a towering skyscraper, they must first lay a solid foundation. The same principle applies to building wealth. Too many people make the mistake of chasing flashy strategies, quick fixes, or complicated investments without having their financial basics in order. It's like trying to build on sand. No matter how grand the vision, it won't stand long without stability beneath it. I've seen countless people dive into ventures or speculative investments, only to crumble under the weight of debt or unexpected expenses. The truth is, before fortune can flourish, discipline and security must be established. That starts with getting out of consumer debt. When your income is drained by interest payments on credit cards or personal loans, you're essentially pouring money down a drain. Debt is a thief that robs you of your ability to save, invest, and plan. It's critical to face that reality and develop a strategy to eliminate it systematically. Next comes the emergency fund. Life doesn't wait for the perfect moment to throw a curveball, whether it's a medical bill, a car repair, or a sudden job loss. Without a safety net, those moments can derail your entire financial progress. Building a reserve of 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses is a discipline that protects your foundation. It gives you peace of mind, strength in adversity, and freedom to make better decisions without panic. But the most important element of all is discipline. Discipline is the quiet, unseen force that holds the whole structure together. It's the daily habit of living below your means, saving regularly, tracking every dollar, and prioritizing your financial goals over temporary pleasures. Wealth is less about luck and more about consistent, disciplined action over time. I remember my early days when I was just starting, completely broke, but determined. I didn't have complex financial plans. I had a simple goal: get out of debt and save whatever little I could. That slow, steady progress built my confidence and my foundation. Only after that did I explore bigger investments and opportunities. So before you chase complex strategies or dream of quick riches, ask yourself, is my foundation solid? Are my basics mastered? Once you build that foundation, getting rid of debt, creating your emergency fund, and cultivating discipline, you create the fertile ground where fortune can grow. Without this foundation, no matter how big your dreams, your wealth will be fragile. Remember, lasting wealth begins with mastering the basics. Build your foundation first, then build your fortune. When it comes to building lasting wealth, there's a simple but profound truth. Money follows solutions. It's not about how hard you work or how many hours you put in, but about the value you bring to the world. If you solve a $10 problem, you'll make $10. But if you solve a $10,000 problem, you'll earn like a millionaire. The question isn't just how much money you want to make. It's whose problems you're willing to solve and how deeply. I've often seen people trapped in the mindset of small thinking, focusing only on minor tasks or quick wins. That's a form of poor thinking that keeps people broke. But true wealth builders understand the power of thinking bigger, stepping up to bigger challenges, and creating bigger value. Wealth grows when you shift your focus from trading time for money to solving problems that others can't or won't solve. Early in my life, I realized the importance of this principle. When I began studying success in business, I found that the most successful people weren't just working harder, they were working smarter, offering solutions to complex problems that commanded greater rewards. For example, a simple job might pay an hourly wage, but creating a product or service that solves a major issue creates streams of income that multiply over time. You might wonder how to find these bigger problems. Start by paying attention to the world around you. What frustrates people? What keeps businesses awake at night? What gaps exist in markets? Then ask yourself, whose problem can I solve today? How deeply can I solve it? This mindset shifts you from being just a consumer or employee to being a creator and value provider. The beauty of solving bigger problems is that your income becomes less about your personal effort and more about the impact you create. Instead of trading hours, you're leveraging knowledge, skills, systems, or innovation to deliver solutions that people need. This mindset leads to scalable income that grows without a proportional increase in your time or effort. Remember, the secret to financial growth lies in your ability to recognize and solve significant problems. When you do this consistently, you don't just earn money, you build wealth that lasts. Think beyond small tasks. Look for opportunities to make a meaningful difference, because the size of the problem you solve is directly tied to the size of your financial success. Success is often mistaken for luck, a random stroke of fortune that falls into the lap of a select few. But the truth, the undeniable truth is that success, especially financial success, is not the result of luck. It is the natural outcome of a well-built foundation of values. Discipline, responsibility, vision, and integrity, these are the pillars upon which lasting wealth is constructed. Those who understand this, who live by these principles, attract money and opportunity. Those who don't, no matter how much they might wish or hope, will find wealth slipping through their fingers like sand. I've witnessed many people in my lifetime chase after the illusion of quick riches. They buy into the lottery ticket mentality, the get-rich-fast schemes, or the latest trend that promises overnight success. But those things rarely last. Why? Because luck is fleeting. Luck is a visitor, not a tenant. It may knock on your door once in a while, but it doesn't stay. What stays is the discipline to keep working when no one is watching, the responsibility to own your financial decisions even when they're difficult, the vision to look beyond the immediate moment and plan for decades ahead, and the integrity to act honestly even when no one is checking. Discipline is what separates those who build wealth from those who don't. It's waking up each day with a plan to save, invest, and manage your money wisely. It's resisting the urge to buy that shiny new gadget on impulse, or to chase every flashy opportunity that promises big returns but lacks substance. I remember when I was starting out, living paycheck to paycheck, barely scraping by. Discipline was setting aside even a small portion of my income, no matter how tight things were, and sticking to it. Over time, that small habit compounded into something much greater. Responsibility is owning where you are financially, without excuses. It's easy to blame the economy, the government, your job, or any number of external forces for a lack of wealth. But the truly wealthy take responsibility for their financial state. They understand that while they cannot control everything, they can control their decisions. I've met many who felt trapped in their circumstances until they took ownership. That moment when you stop pointing fingers and start taking action changes everything. Vision is the ability to see beyond the immediate day, the next paycheck, or even the next year. Wealth is rarely built overnight. It is the result of long-term thinking, setting goals that stretch years into the future and working steadily toward them. I encourage people to write down their financial goals, not vague wishes, but specific, measurable, and time-bound targets. That vision becomes a guiding light when distractions and doubts come knocking. It helps you say no to short-term pleasures in favor of long-term gains. Integrity is often overlooked, but it is one of the most powerful values for building lasting wealth. Money flows to those who are trustworthy, who act with honesty in their dealings, and who build reputations that stand the test of time. I remember a mentor telling me, "Your reputation is your most valuable asset." I've seen deals fall through, partnerships crumble, and businesses fail because integrity was sacrificed for a quick buck. But I've also seen wealth grow exponentially when integrity is at the core. Money is attracted to people who respect its power and treat it wisely. It's a servant that will work hard for those who understand it and a cruel master to those who don't. Those who treat money carelessly, who act entitled, or who live beyond their means, find that money slips away faster than it arrives. On the other hand, those who treat money as a tool to create opportunity, security, and legacy find that wealth multiplies over time. It's important to realize that this is not about how much money you start with or your current income level. I've met modest earners with remarkable wealth because they live by these values. Conversely, I've seen high earners lose everything because they lack discipline and integrity. Success isn't in the paycheck, it's in the habits and values behind the paycheck. So if you want lasting wealth, don't chase luck. Build your financial life on a foundation of discipline. Commit to managing your money wisely every day. Take responsibility, own your financial situation, and make the decisions necessary to improve it. Develop vision, set clear, long-term goals, and keep them in sight. And above all, live with integrity. Be honest, trustworthy, and fair in all your financial dealings. This is the millionaire secret. Not some magic formula or quick fix, but a lifestyle built on values. When you embody these, wealth is no longer a dream, but a natural consequence. And the good news is, it's available to anyone willing to choose it. Remember, success is not luck, it is a reflection of your values. Change is one of the few certainties in life. Every day you are different from the person you were yesterday. Time moves forward, and with it, your circumstances, your experiences, and even your mindset evolve. But here's the truth that many overlook. Change alone does not produce wealth. Just getting older does not automatically bring financial success. Wealth is not a natural byproduct of time passing. It is the result of daily, intentional decisions made with purpose and discipline. I have seen many people drift through life hoping that one day somehow their financial situation will improve simply because they have lived long enough. They wait for the right opportunity, the perfect timing, or a sudden stroke of luck. But waiting is a dangerous game. Change will happen regardless. But progressive forward movement toward lasting wealth requires deliberate action. It is not the passing of years that creates financial freedom. It is the purposeful choices made each day that accumulate into lasting success. When I was younger, I was broke and uncertain about my future. But I made a decision to direct my change, to steer it in a meaningful direction. I invested time in learning, developed discipline to manage my money, and committed to habits that built my financial foundation. Those daily choices added up. They transformed me from a man struggling to pay bills into someone who could create opportunities, generate income, and build legacy. The rich understand this principle well. They know that progress is not accidental, it is intentional. They design their days, plan their weeks, and set goals with clarity so that every small step aligns with their bigger vision. They don't wait for motivation or inspiration to strike. They show up and do the work. They adapt and grow, yes, but they do so with the purpose that drives their actions, not merely the passage of time. So, if you want to change your financial future, remember this: change is inevitable, but progress requires intention. Don't wait for life to happen to you. Make decisions each day that move you closer to your goals. Build habits that serve your vision. Learn continuously, save consistently, invest wisely, and take responsibility for your financial path. The years will come, but what will matter most is how you choose to use them. Your future is not a result of aging. It is a reflection of your daily decisions. Choose wisely, act with purpose, and direct your change toward the wealth you deserve. Change is one of those constants we can count on in life. Yet, it doesn't guarantee progress or prosperity unless guided by wisdom. When it comes to money, many people think that accumulating cash or assets alone is the measure of wealth, but that's only half the story. Without wisdom, money can slip through your fingers as quickly as it comes in. It can breed anxiety, poor decisions, and even ruin. The truth is, money without wisdom is a dangerous combination. But when money is in the hands of a wise person, it becomes much more than currency. It becomes a tool for freedom, growth, and legacy. I remember early on in my life, I had moments where I thought having more money would solve all my problems. I chased income, promotions, and quick wins, believing that the numbers on my paycheck or bank statement were the ultimate measure of success. Yet, time and again, I saw people with considerable income make reckless choice overspending, investing without understanding, or worse, borrowing to keep up appearances. Without the wisdom to manage it, their wealth vanished like sand through their fingers. Wisdom is not just knowledge. It's understanding how to apply knowledge in real life, how to think long term, and how to manage risk and opportunity with balance. It means knowing the difference between what serves your goals and what distracts you. It's about recognizing that money is a tool, a servant, not a master. When you accumulate money without wisdom, you might find yourself enslaved by debts, poor habits, and fear. But when wisdom guides your financial decisions, your money works for you, creating freedom and expanding possibilities. Consider how the wealthy think about money. They don't merely accumulate assets. They seek to understand their finances deeply. They track where every dollar goes, they educate themselves continuously about investing in markets, and they build systems that protect and grow their wealth. Their money isn't just a number. It's a resource that fuels their lifestyle, their dreams, and their ability to give back. This is why building wisdom is a critical part of any financial journey. It starts with education, reading, listening, learning from mentors, and reflecting on your experiences. But it doesn't stop there. Wisdom requires applying that knowledge, experimenting, learning from mistakes, and refining your strategy. It means asking questions like, how does this investment fit my long-term vision? What risks am I taking? Am I building something that can last beyond me? A wise person understands that money without control leads to stress and instability. I once knew a man who inherited a substantial fortune but lacked the wisdom to manage it. Within a few years, he lost most of it due to poor decisions and lack of discipline. Contrast that with another person I met, who started with very little but studied, planned, and made thoughtful choices. Over decades, this person built a lasting legacy not just in wealth, but in values passed down to their family. It's also important to recognize that wisdom turns money into growth. Instead of spending everything you earn, a wise person sets aside a portion to invest in assets, education, and opportunities that expand income streams. They avoid the trap of consumption for applause, and instead buy assets that appreciate and generate income. This mindset shift from accumulation to intelligent growth is what separates fleeting wealth from lasting prosperity. And then there is legacy. Real wealth isn't just about what you keep for yourself today, but what you build for tomorrow. Wisdom teaches us to think beyond the present moment to prepare an inheritance of values, financial knowledge, and opportunity for the next generation. Money alone won't do this. It's the wisdom behind how it's managed, taught, and grown that creates a lasting impact. So how do you accumulate wisdom? Start by making it a priority as important as earning money. Dedicate time to learn about personal finance, investing, and self-development. Surround yourself with mentors and peers who challenge you to think bigger and smarter. Reflect on your financial choices regularly. Keep a journal of lessons learned, successes, and setbacks. This process transforms money from a fleeting resource into a foundation for freedom. In the end, wealth is not simply the balance in your bank account or the value of your assets. Wealth is the ability to live your life on your own terms, to grow consistently, and to leave a meaningful legacy. That is what wisdom with money creates. The secret is simple but profound. Don't just chase money, chase understanding. Don't just collect dollars, collect wisdom. For when wisdom guides your wealth, you hold the key to true financial freedom. This is the principle that transforms not just your bank account, but your life. Guard your wisdom as fiercely as you guard your money, and your wealth will not only grow, it will endure. As we come to the close of this journey together, I want to take a moment to remind you that true wealth isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about the mindset that drives your decisions, the habits that govern your daily life, and the values that you live by. Poor thinking keeps you broke because it traps you in cycles of confusion, fear, and reaction. The millionaire's secret to lasting wealth is to break free from those mental chains and step into a world of clarity, purpose, and intentional action. You see, wealth is not a random stroke of luck or a fleeting moment of fortune. It is the natural outcome of consistent, wise thinking applied over time. It is built one decision at a time, one habit at a time, and one day at a time. And when you embrace that truth, you realize that wealth is available to you right now, wherever you are, whatever your age, and no matter what your starting point has been. The door to financial freedom is not locked. It's simply waiting for you to walk through with the right key, and that key is your mindset. I want you to think about the difference between poor thinking and rich thinking, not just as a difference in financial knowledge, but as a difference in life philosophy. Poor thinking often comes from fear of risk, fear of failure, fear of change. It clings to survival, trading time for money and living paycheck to paycheck. It reacts to circumstances instead of shaping them. It confuses busyness with progress and excuses with reasons. Rich thinking, on the other hand, is built on courage, discipline, and vision. It understands that money is a tool, not a goal. It knows that wealth is built by providing value, solving problems, and investing in yourself and your future. Rich thinking embraces learning, mentors, and systems that automate success. It focuses not on what is easy or immediate, but on what is meaningful and lasting. Throughout this conversation, we have explored many of the practical steps and mindset shifts that make lasting wealth possible. You have heard about the power of financial clarity, knowing exactly where your money comes from and where it goes. I cannot stress enough how many people live in financial fog, guessing or ignoring their realities. Without clarity, you cannot grow. With clarity, every dollar becomes an opportunity. We talked about the trap of trading time for money. It's a fundamental truth that a job, no matter how steady or well-paying, often limits your financial potential because your time is finite. To create lasting wealth, you must shift your focus to building value skills that increase your marketplace worth and income that flows even when you're not actively working. That's how freedom begins. We discussed the importance of planning beyond this month, thinking legacy to legacy. When you live only for the present, it's easy to fall into a survival mindset, spending what you have without saving or investing for tomorrow. But when you think in terms of legacy, you begin to build something bigger than yourself. You create a financial foundation not only for your life, but for those who will come after you. Mentorship is another cornerstone. The wisdom of those who have walked the path before you is invaluable. Trying to figure everything out alone wastes time and money. Seek guidance from those who have succeeded and learn from their experiences. Invest in your self-books, courses, coaches, because knowledge is the bridge to opportunity. I reminded you that money follows solutions. The deeper and bigger problems you solve, the greater your reward. This is a mindset of contribution, not consumption. Ask yourself daily, whose problem can I solve and how deeply? That question will shift your focus from scarcity to abundance, from taking to giving. And then there's the core truth that success is rooted in values, not luck. Discipline, responsibility, integrity, and vision attract wealth. Money respects those who respect it and flees those who take it lightly. Building wealth means becoming a person who is worthy of wealth. The final truth is this: don't just accumulate money, accumulate wisdom. Wisdom is the foundation upon which lasting wealth is built. It turns money from a fleeting resource into a lasting legacy. Without wisdom, money can vanish. With wisdom, it becomes a tool for freedom, growth, and impact. Now, where do you go from here? Knowledge without action is nothing more than good intentions. The moment you walk away from this, you must take one small, deliberate step towards your new mindset and new financial habits. Start by asking yourself honest questions about your relationship with money. What beliefs have held you back? What habits do you need to change? What skills do you need to build? Make a simple plan. Write down your goals clearly and revisit them daily. Track your money weekly. Build a budget that allocates funds not only for living, but for investing and growth. Commit to learning one new financial lesson every week. Find a mentor or coach who can guide you. And most importantly, act. Without action, knowledge remains dormant. You might feel overwhelmed. This journey isn't easy, but nothing worthwhile ever is. Remember that wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. Small, consistent disciplines compound into great results over time. The wealthy don't wait for inspiration. They create rituals that sustain their progress. You can do the same. Reflect on this truth. You are the architect of your financial destiny. Your thoughts are the blueprint. Your actions, the tools, and your daily habits, the bricks that build your future. Every day you lay down another brick. Build wisely. Build with purpose. If you are ready to change, begin now. Don't wait for the perfect moment because it may never come. Start where you are with what you have. A decision made today can alter your tomorrow. Commit to breaking free from poor thinking and stepping into a mindset that breeds lasting wealth. Lastly, remember this. Wealth is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of solutions. It's not the avoidance of risk. It's the mastery of risk. It's not just about making money. It's about becoming the person worthy of it. When you embrace these truths, you will find that lasting wealth is not a distant dream. It's a reality within your reach. Go forward with confidence. Commit to your growth. Invest in your future. Build your legacy. The journey ahead may be challenging, but it will also be rewarding beyond measure. And I will remind you once more, the richest people are those who think richest. Change your thinking, and you will change your life. If this message has stirred something within you, take it as a call to action. Write down your financial vision, create your budget for growth, schedule your learning and mentorship. Start tracking your money today. Take one concrete step, no matter how small, toward the mindset that creates lasting wealth. Share your journey with others. Because as you grow, you inspire growth in those around you. Wealth is not a solitary path. It's a legacy to be shared. The future you want starts now. Choose to think rich, act rich, and live rich. The millionaire secret to lasting wealth is no secret at all. It is simply this. The way you think determines the way you live, and the way you live determines the wealth you build. Make that choice today.